alongside the coronavirus, Kenyans are enduring another infestation. It leaves families destitute and starving. Vast swarms of desert locusts are devouring every crop and scrap of vegetation they land on. And their numbers are growing at a frightening rate. I have my first encounter with the locust in southern Kenya.
Look! Wow! Wow. All of this black are the tiny hoppers. Hoppers are essentially baby locusts.
They've been incubating under the ground in eggs laid 2 weeks ago by a passing locust swarm.
There's just so many of them. The entire road is covered in them.
Newly hatched locusts are called hoppers. They can't yet fly, but feed voraciously.
Look, they're just coming out of these tunnels.
During her 3 months' life, a female locust can lay 250 eggs. Within weeks, the hoppers will be able to fly, creating a new swarm.
You see these white things? They're the locust eggs that these teeny tiny baby locusts have just hatched from. Just give them a couple of weeks and they're going to turn into grown, mature locusts that have been devastating this entire country, that have been affecting the livelihoods of millions of people in the region. It looks like they're multiplying by the minute. What is your biggest worry about your near future with this situation?
Tunaomba msaada kila wakati. Kwa maisha yetu ni hivyo tu. Ngoja msaada. Hapana, hatuna uwezo mwingine, sisi tunategemea kile tunafanya na mikono yetu. Sasa ile tumefanya na mikono yetu isitusaidie inaliwa. Sasa hatuna nyingine, ni kuomba msaada. Tutakuwa tunaomba msaada kila wakati, hatuna nyingine.
Nearby, farmers are battling the vast infestation with pesticides supplied by the Ministry of Agriculture. But they have to source it abroad and supplies are running out. Other farmers are looking for help elsewhere. In a special service, they're asking God for help. But their pastor reminds them locusts were one of the 10 plagues God unleashed on Egypt for defying his will.
Amen.
The Lord said to Moses, "Raise your hand over the land of Egypt to bring the locusts. They will come and eat everything that grows, everything that has survived the hail."
Why do you think God sent the swarms?
I think he said in Psalms because of the sin and people ignoring him.
Agriculture provides a livelihood for more than 80% of the population in Kenya, and nearly 1.3 million live on the edge of hunger. Close to the congregation, I visit the farm of Anthony and his family. He's 24 years old and an agricultural student.
These hoppers are everywhere. Wow! All the stems on these are completely black.
They grow millet, sorghum, and cotton. The adult locusts hardly spared any of the crops, and before moving on, they left millions of eggs behind.
Yeah, you can see what is happening now. This was the unhealthy plant, but now you can see it is well distracted. Now, as we are going to spray, even the time we are spraying, the things were distracted because as we are spraying, some the younger ones are just coming out from the ground.
The financial cost of this destruction is hitting already. Anthony has had to drop out of college. He and his parents show me their grain stores. Their crops were just about ready for harvest when the locust attacked.
This is all your harvest for this year. How much do you normally have?
Around 3 greeneries, but now you have only 1.
And this one isn't even full.
Government aircraft did spray the swarms here with pesticide, but only after a week.
Do you think the government could have done more to help you?
When it comes in terms of government, it will do things slowly. You can wait in government until you die.
The planting season is just about to start, but the family can't risk sowing seeds with their farms still infested. We head north to Turkana County. It borders Ethiopia, where many swarms are entering Kenya from. In this semi-arid area, unusual rainfall has brought the greenery locusts need to feed on, as well as the moist soil to lay eggs. There are reports that swarms are gathering of a size not seen here for 70 years.
Look at that! This is mental! This entire wall! Look at my feet!
They are tree locusts, not desert locusts. But they're a sign their larger and more destructive cousins are close.
This is literally happening in the middle of town. This is not even a rural area, it's an urban area.
Early next morning, I'm riding with Peter Lochakwan and Alphonse Oren from the Ministry of Agriculture. Their job is to hunt down locust swarms and destroy them.
Peter, what do we know about this particular swarm so far?
So the place that you're going is bordering some part of Ethiopia and Sudan. The swarm might have moved from Sudan to Kenya. It's important to get there, determine the size of the swarm possibly, to take the coordinates that will help us to get the aircraft for the spray.
Flying somewhere above us is one of the 6 Kenyan military aircrafts equipped for spraying the locust with pesticide.
How important is it to get there now, to get there fast?
As far as when them in the morning, it's much easier when they are still not so active. So that means like they will be in a place where it's much controllable.
So these locusts get their energy from the sun because they're cold-blooded, and it's important for us to get there before the sun is properly out in the sky and before it's hot. We're literally swarm chasing.
When on the move, swarms can travel over 100 miles in a day. Locals are calling in sightings of where swarms settled overnight.
We're looking for the exact location of the locust, and he's getting loads of calls on his hotline.
We're close to where the swarm was sighted.
We are looking at the tree cover to see whether it's covered with the locust.
We just saw the pesticide spraying plane just there. We know that the locusts are somewhere here, but where is the mystery?
The spraying aircraft is running low on fuel. But in the nick of time, Peter spots a flash of yellow in the bushes.
They're here, a lot of them.
We found them.
They're on the ground.
See them? Down there?
Small swamp. It's a small swamp. So, but we need to get ahead and see whether we can see another big swamp.
They quickly find the main swarm.
Let's get the coordinates.
They soon realize it's one of the biggest they've personally encountered.
Hit them.
The team sends GPS coordinates to the aircraft. They show the swarm stretches for 7 square kilometers, at least 20 million locusts.
This swarm is the biggest. This swarm is the biggest swarm. It's one of the biggest swarms observed in Turkana County. We found the locust, so it requires immediate intervention, spraying as at now.
Okay, come, guys.
The pesticide used to kill adult locusts needs to be extremely powerful. So the army plane circles low, a signal to anyone below to clear the area.
We're getting out of the area because they're about to spray.
An hour later, the swarm is normal. But there are many other swarms in the area to be hunted down. We get news from other swarm hunters 200 miles south that there are swarms in an area that's vital to Kenya's economy.
We've approached the highlands and it's visibly so much greener, it's so lush here. This is where the cash crops are growing, like coffee, tea, and agriculture here is big business.
Many large farms here export internationally. Damage to their businesses will take months to become apparent.
I'm heading to the local government's office right now, hoping that they can tell us where the locusts are to help finish this.
In Nanyuki, I meet John Hutu, another swarm hunter working for the Ministry of Agriculture. A farmer is giving him the location of a new swarm.
This contact now is telling me that where they are now, they are visible.
And these are the adult locusts mating and laying eggs right now.
We are expecting that they are doing the laying. The plan now, not unless we take off very early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, going and coming back, it will be too late.
Sure.
The next morning, I head out with John. This is an area full of small farms as well as protected wildlife like white rhino and zebras. This means it's often too dangerous to use planes spraying powerful pesticides. Zachary is the farmer that spotted the locust and tipped off John.
Have you seen it?
At first, you can't see them. The deeper we go into the field, the more of these locusts we see.
Hasa hizi zige Zilikuja jana saa 11 na ziko zimeendea eneo ya kilomita 3 kutoka area hii, sasa iko kwa hii msituni. Sasa mashamba ya watu iko karibu hapa na ndio tunazuia isiingie kwa machamba, lakini iko kwa lunch hapa msituni.
But John, the swarm hunter, decides this is a place where they can't risk aerial spraying.
The small-scale farmers are crucially settled. These pesticides, if they are released like that, they can be hazardous to the community.
And I noticed the river is right there. If the aerial spraying came, they could poison the water.
Yeah.
John marks the location where the locusts have laid eggs, so that later they can come back and spray the newborn hoppers. But for now, the farmers are left on their own to battle the swarm threatening their crops.
We are going to one of the farms who are just across from where the locust invasion is, and they are trying to find ways to scare them off from entering their farms. Oh no, they've already gone to their farm. They have arrived to your farm.
Near to where the swarm is resting, across the river, Jen and her family have a 1-acre farm.
My biggest worry, when they eat this, simabaya kukusha. Nimeisha. Sina kazi. Nakula hapa. Ikikula. Sinimalizika.
Even a small swarm can eat the same amount of food in a day as 35,000 people.
This is my job.
More locusts arrive, so they light fires. Jen hopes the smoke will repel them.
Since those locusts arrived there yesterday, the farmers have been doing everything they can to try and repel them from their farms, because they know as soon as one of them, a couple of them come into their farms, the rest will follow. First they will devour everything, then they will lay eggs, and their numbers will multiply.
Suddenly, locusts start to fill the sky.
They're all above the farm now.
They fly over us but don't land. Jen is safe, but the locusts are now in her neighbors' farms. It's only a matter of time before these farmers face much larger swarms. Then they'll need much more than small bonfires to fend them off.
How confident are you that the government, that the authorities will help you tackle this before it's too late?
Are they going to help me? The government is going to help me? I don't know. I don't know.
In the north, larger swarms are gathering. I head back to Turkana to join swarm hunters Peter and Alphonse.
Peter and Alfonso have been sending me updates of the reports they've been receiving on the Locust hotline. Apparently, about 3 hours north of here, near the South Sudan border, there's been sightings of big swarms last night. Ajo! It seems like we're in the right area. A few people we've asked along the way, they said that they definitely saw a big swarm flying over in this general direction. Ajo!
Mama, habari?
Mbali sana. Mimi nasema kwa nyangololo. Kwa maji. Ni mingi sana.
Tola?
Eh.
Alo, inikia?
Eh. Ata ngabu kineni.
Haya.
Ajo.
Despite continuing to receive calls from the locals reporting sightings of locust swarms, the guys from the Ministry of Agriculture are staying in. They told us that's because they still haven't received the pesticides from the central government.
With no pesticide, both the spraying aircraft and the swarm hunters are grounded. We're now in a county that in effect has been abandoned to the locusts. But we keep searching. The chief Erod and his father Ekeru herd goats and live off their milk and meat. But passing locust swarms have devastated the grazing. And just as we'd seen in the south, here too, new swarms are emerging from the locust eggs laid by the earlier swarms. We continue our search for the locust swarms.
We know that they are heading north towards the border of South Sudan. So at least we're going in the right sort of general direction.
Just before sunset, we find them.
Holy, look at that!
It's the biggest swarm we've seen yet.
They're devouring everything on their path, and they're growing and they're multiplying by the second, and the local authorities can't do anything about it. All that yellow behind me, they're not yellow leaves. All of that are locusts feeding on those trees. All of these locusts here, and nothing is being done about them.
We wanted to ask the Kenyan government about what we'd seen, but they told us no one was available. However, they insist they're winning the war against locusts. But since our filming, the coronavirus has slowed efforts to fight the infestation and made it even harder to import pesticides. A second wave of locusts, in swarms up to 20 times larger, is now forming.
Thanks for watching. Click the logo to subscribe for more award-winning documentaries from the Unreported World team. We upload videos every Sunday, keeping you up to date with content from all over the world.